Alright, welcome to another Omnia video. Today we're going to be doing the Beach Batch 2 EX Plus. So this one should be pretty difficult compared to the first one as well, because both of them are really tight on the turns. 50 turns is their max, and then they have a pretty high score requirement too. So the mechanics of the fight is pretty simple. There's only a couple of things to watch out for. First is to manage HP damage in wave 1. The worm's just gonna spam all attack and do HP. But it's a good thing they don't do Brave plus HP attacks. They just do flat out game Brave into HP. So you can just bring a healer and negate that. And then the other thing to watch out for is buffs in the last wave. So the behemoths like to buff themselves. One of them gains physical resist, which really lowers your damage output. So you want to bring something that can delay or stun or just dispel them if you can, because they tend to have high HP. All the bosses have high HP except for Chimera in wave 2. So the Chimera is a good place to get easy overkill to bump up your score. And then what you want to do is not hold back any abilities except for the support unit maybe, because the support unit you don't need to bring that much damage for it. I think the healer role like Cait Sith, you'll see I do some brave attacks later on. And then if you're bringing Ifrit, you want to kill the golden behemoth first, because that one's weak to fire, and then you want to delay or stun or dispel the other one. So the stage is pretty DPS heated. They all have high HP pools like I said, but what you want to do is kill them as fast as you can. If you can't do that, you can try to bring what I did here, which is a launcher. So launchers inflate the score. So let's talk about what you can use for the healer role. So I chose Cait Sith for budget reasons. But I do have like Lena, Y'shtola, but I wanted to showcase Cait Sith here because he's pretty dated at this point, but he can still be used. And what you want to use for this role is someone who can buff the main DPS the most. It's similar to Lena and what she does for Renoa. So not only does she heal, but she buffs her damage pretty high and batteries her to give more splash. And then for alternative for Cait Sith, you could think about something like Agrius or Paladin Cecil. So I tried to use both of them, but they're pretty tough to make the score requirement here. So I did clear the stage, like using both of them even together, but then they didn't make the turn requirement for the score. So they ended up beating it at like 49 turns, which is not quick enough to make the 330k. And then we have Lena, of course. She's probably the best healer in the game right now. And there's some other good ones I'm thinking about are Echo or Beatrix. Beatrix hits thunder weakness on the last behemoth and the worms, so she's actually pretty decent here. And then we have Y'shtola. Y'shtola is pretty much a direct comparison to Cait Sith. Both have battery and both have overflow. And yeah, you don't have to worry about bringing someone with super high damage, because the support and healer role is just that's all you need them to do, is just to heal and buff the DPS in your team. I don't recommend Rem because she drains the abilities of your teammates and she inflates the score, because basically when you swap turn you kind of pass or waste the turn. It doesn't count as a free turn until her rework later on. So I want to give a shout out to Mathematician PSC, because he's been using Rem in every event so far, getting the completion. And then I don't recommend Locke or Maria here either, because they're healing, they don't have constant healing. So what happens is you may run out of your second ability pretty fast, and then when that happens, you're not going to be able to keep up your buffs for the whole fight. And you could try Kefka and Setzer, but I wouldn't recommend them either. The worms are pretty fast from my experience. So if they move first and HP attack you, then like substituting Kefka for a healer is not really going to do anything. And Setzer will have very low damage in the overall fight because he doesn't have an EX weapon, he has a low ability uses. I chose Sephiroth over Renoa because I want to showcase like a different DPS in the meta. Everyone's using Lena and Renoa for this, so I'm gonna try to use a different person if I can. But you can substitute him for different DPS recently, like Furion, Jet comes to mind. And the last slot is utility, so I chose Cloud here. Cloud's really good, as you'll see. Not only the launch, but he also has stun. So my Cloud doesn't have a Word of Illusion, but you don't need that to dispel, because you're just gonna stun the Behemoth over and over, and he's not gonna get a chance to buff himself. And then we're gonna target the Fire Weak Golden Behemoth, as you see here. Take him out first, because you're gonna take advantage of the Ifrit buff, and then you're gonna stun the other one, so he never gets the chance to buff or go. And I chose a Friend Cloud reason because we can just double down on the launches to inflate the score, but he also does a lot of damage with the launch. Like Finishing Touch launch with Ifrit, just it probably does as much or more as Renoa's HP plus attack. Okay, so the first one is almost dead. Just want to burst it as fast as you can. So once B buffs and gets physical resistance, that's going to be a problem. So we're going to have to stun. We're going to take turns with the Clouds to... Each has cross/plus. You get it after using your Finishing Touch. So you're going to alternate stunning B every time so that he doesn't get a chance to go. Because this team is all physical. I brought Sephiroth Cloud and Cait Sith. They're all physical. But we're going to be in trouble once he buffs. Just going to stun him again. You'll see he'll never get a chance to move. It's pretty cheap tactic, pretty cheesy, but I think it's more efficient than even Quistis, because Quistis, when you delay the enemy and there's not one left, you don't really gain 3 turns. You might gain like 2 turns because the enemy gets knocked back behind the other enemy, so you kind of waste that turn. But with Cloud, you get the guaranteed like out of round, and he does more damage. So that's it. The fight's pretty hard otherwise if you're not gonna use any of the recent characters. I did try team with like Agrias and Paladin Cecil together with like Renoa to double healer, but that team only beat it at 49 turns, so they did not make the score. But that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one.